We have Avery Burdette in the studio with us, and I'd like Avery to talk a little bit about who he is and what brought him to Yamaha and how he came to be.
Well, my current position is as product manager for music production products in the Pro Audio and Combo division of the Yamaha Corporation of America. And we have just started celebrating our 125th anniversary of making musical instruments.
Wow.
So we are the oldest and largest company in the world. Wow. Making musical instruments. Okay. It started off with a little pump organ in the mountains of Japan with Mr. Yamaha in 1887.
Wow, remarkable.
So I joined the company in 1987, so I missed the first 100 years. But it's been quite a journey since then. I joined as a product specialist for the digital musical instrument division. And I've toured the country demonstrating and training people on how to use what was the current technology there, FM technology, and the second generation of the DX series of synthesizers.
Okay.
So my background actually is I started my musical experience in elementary school playing the trombone.
Okay.
And spent more years than I like to think about pursuing the trombone until I then decided that the piano and the organ were where I needed to go.
Sure.
So I started an endeavor and becoming a keyboard player.
Yeah, there's an old joke I'm sure you heard about, the trombonist and the optimist.
Right. Oh, there's more than a few jokes about that.
Yeah, yeah. So you became a keyboard player essentially.
Right.
Okay.
And so I grew up in the high school band playing those instruments, and that's where I got my early musical experience. And then I went to college and studied to become a musician. And after that, I was a professional musician for a number of years, playing out of Nashville and doing recordings and touring and that kind of thing.
Was it a hard transition coming from trombone to deciding to put more time into the keyboard?
At that point, it was a little bit late, and so it was a difficult struggle for a long time.
Right. What made you decide on the keyboards as opposed to another instrument?
Well, in high school, my friends were starting a rock and roll band, and they had everything but an organ player. Right. And so, and my mother was an amateur musician. She played the piano and the organ, and we had an organ at home. And so, my first experience actually playing music was memorizing the pedal. Watching her play the pedals and knowing how to do that and playing with her when
the pedals meaning the bass notes, is that
the bass pedals of the organ.
Right.
I watched her foot do it until I figured out how to do it with my hand at a very early age. I think I was 5 or 6 years old. So that was my first musical performance, as it were. And so we had the organ, and I went to a teacher in my hometown. And on the first or second lesson there, she played a Dave Brubeck album for me. And something happened. Something spoke to me, and the rest is,
as they say, history.
Yeah, it's kind of, that's been the pursuit since then, is to play like Dave Brubeck.
And how old were you at that point in time when you had
I had just graduated high school.
Incredible. Yeah, to have that inspiration just graduating high school, that may be a little bit late in some respects, but yet, had that not occurred, your entire life would be different.
It was an interesting, my band director in high school was a trombone player. And I had come a long way on the trombone. I had accomplished a great deal playing in the all-state bands and sitting in the first trombone section of the all-state band when I was a freshman. And so upon graduation, he arranged for me to go to New York and study trombone with the bass trombonist in the New York Philharmonic. And at that time, it was $60 an hour, which seemed a lot of money at that time. And I took 3 or 4 lessons from this Alan Ostrander. And he exposed me to aspects of musical performance and musicianship that I had never, encountered before.
So having a teacher really broadened your horizons and
Well,
was well worth the money.
this particular experience was so enlightening about the psychology of music, which had not been a part of my experience up to that point. You know, the intention of what you're trying to accomplish with you as the musician and your instrument. And basically what I got from that experience was that I was not going to be a trombone player for the rest of my life. And I've been forever grateful for for that experience. Because it's led me into the world of technology and synthesis and all of these products that I live with every day and have for the last 25 years.
Right. And just as a question, do you find the technology and synthesis just as gratifying as your initial exposure to music?
Well, I suppose I had some natural inclination in that regard. My first electronic musical instrument was a Heathkit theremin that my father helped me build at an early age, and I built the first guitar amplifier I had from a kit.
And what is a theremin for those that don't know?
A theremin is one of the first electronic musical instruments that uses two antennas and can, using a capacitance reaction, you play it by moving your hands close to these two antennas. One antenna controls the pitch, and one antenna controls the volume. Okay. And it was one of the first electronic musical instruments that was used in the soundtrack movie scores. The most famous pop recording of the theremin is on that Beach Boys record.
Oh yeah. Right. Good Vibrations.
Good Vibrations. That's it. Yes.
I go back a ways too.
So I kind of had an inclination that at an early age, and it kind of led me to where I am today.